Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare 1-cent coins, cause some of these coins are rare among collectors and are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest coins and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. Top 1 today, we're going to talk about a coin that's often overlooked, but can pack quite a punch in terms of value: the 1976 United States 1-cent coin. This little coin, which seems so ordinary at first glance, can actually be worth a lot more than you might expect, and we're about to uncover all the reasons why. So sit tight, because by the end of this video, you'll have a whole new appreciation for this coin. And who knows, it could be sitting in your collection right now, waiting to make you a fortune. Now, let's first take a step back and talk a little bit about the history behind the 1976 1-cent coin. This was a special year in American history, as the nation was celebrating its 200th anniversary of independence. As part of the bicentennial celebrations, the U.S. Mint issued a special set of coins, and the 1976 1-cent coin was included in that series. The design featured a classic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, which had been used since 1909. However, the reverse side, the side most collectors pay attention to, received a subtle but significant update to mark the occasion for the bicentennial year. The reverse side of the penny was designed with a drumstick and a wreath that symbolizes the country's birth and the spirit of freedom. This design was only used in 1976, making it a unique part of U.S. coinage history. It's a simple design, but the fact that it's connected to the country's bicentennial celebrations makes it particularly significant. Coins from this era are often sought after because they tell a story of American pride, and the 1976 1-cent coin is no exception. Now, let's talk about what makes this coin valuable. There are several reasons why the 1976 1-cent coin might be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. As with all collectible coins, the condition is key. Most of these coins were heavily circulated, and, as a result, many have been worn down over time. But here's the thing: uncirculated coins, those that were kept in pristine condition and never used for everyday transactions, are incredibly rare. The more perfect the condition, the more desirable the coin is to collectors. If you've got a 1976 1-cent coin that looks like it just came out of the mint, you've got yourself a valuable piece of history. But it doesn't stop there. Mint errors can significantly increase the value of a coin. And the 1976 1 cent is no exception. Double die errors are particularly sought after by collectors. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned, resulting in a coin with a doubled image. These double die errors can sometimes be so subtle that they're difficult to spot unless you're looking for them closely. The most common areas where you might find this error on the 1976 penny are in the lettering or the details of Abraham Lincoln's portrait. If you happen to have a 1976 penny with this error, you could be sitting on a hidden treasure. Another mint error to keep an eye out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to be offset. This results in a misprinted coin that has a unique and irregular appearance. Off-center coins are highly prized by collectors because they're one-of-a-kind pieces, and if you come across one of these, you could be looking at a rare, valuable error. But even without a mint error, a well-preserved 1976 1-cent coin can still be worth a considerable amount. The bicentennial connection adds an extra layer of appeal for collectors. People love to collect coins that are tied to important historical moments, and the 1976 penny is directly linked to the nation's 200th anniversary. It's a tangible piece of history, and that alone makes it special. Many people want to own a piece of this unique time in American history, and that demand can drive up the price. Now to the exciting part: just how much can a 1976 1-cent coin be worth? If you happen to have a pristine, uncirculated version of this coin, or one with a rare minting error like a double die or off-center strike, you could be looking at an impressive $75,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $75,000 for a coin that was once just a penny in your pocket. It's incredible how a small piece of currency can hold so much value. But that's the magic of coin collecting. It's all about finding the right coin, in the right condition, with the right features. If you think you might have one of these rare 1976 pennies lying around in your collection or even in a jar of loose change, it's time to dig it out and take a closer look. Inspect the coin carefully, look for any signs of mint errors, check its condition, and see if it has that sharp, uncirculated look. If it does, get it appraised, because it might just be worth a small fortune. In conclusion, the 1976 1-cent coin is more than just a piece of pocket change, it's a piece of history. Whether it's the significance of the bicentennial design or the potential for rare minting errors, this coin has a lot to offer to collectors and enthusiasts alike. If you're a coin lover, this is one you'll definitely want to keep your eyes on. So, happy hunting, and remember, your next treasure could be hiding in plain sight. Top 2, we're diving into a coin that might just be sitting in your collection or hidden in that jar of loose change, ready to surprise you with its true value. It's the 1978 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary penny, but don't be fooled. This little copper piece has the potential to be much more valuable than you could ever imagine. Now, most of us are familiar with the design of the US 1-cent coin, featuring Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. This iconic image has been on the obverse, that's the front, of the penny since 1909, and it continues to be one of the most recognized and beloved designs in American coinage history. The reverse, that's the back, of the 1978 penny still carries the classic wheat stalks from the earlier Lincoln wheat cent series, a design that was discontinued in 1958. But what makes the 1978 penny special, and why should collectors pay attention to it? Well, let's find out. Point 1 of the reasons that the 1978 1-cent coin is highly sought after is the year it was minted. By the late 1970s, the U.S. economy was undergoing significant changes. The nation was facing inflation, and the cost of living was rising. The penny, as a form of currency, was still circulating heavily, but it was becoming less and less valuable in terms of buying power. As a result, coins from this era, especially those in pristine condition, are valuable not just for their metal content, but for their historical significance. The 1978 penny is a representation of this transitional time in the United States, when things were shifting, and the coin is now part of that story. But here's the thing. If you've been keeping your 1978 pennies in a jar, you might not know that there are rare, special versions of this coin that could bring you a pretty hefty sum. Let's talk about rarity and errors that could make your penny worth a fortune. For starters, most of the 1978 1-cent coins were circulated and have seen better days. These coins are common, and unless they're in mint condition, they generally don't carry much value beyond their face value. However, if you happen to have a mint-state 1978 penny, one that's free from scratches, discoloration, or wear, it could be worth much more than just 1 cent. The truth is, uncirculated 1978 pennies are rare because most people use them in everyday transactions, which means that finding one in perfect condition is an exciting find for collectors. What's even more thrilling is the chance that your 1978 penny could have a mint error. Mint errors are those delightful quirks that occur during the coin-making process, and they can turn an ordinary coin into a highly sought-after collectible. For example, double die errors are a common mint mistake that happens when a coin is struck by a die that has been misaligned. This creates a doubled image on the coin, typically in the lettering or on the date, and collectors go wild for these kinds of mistakes. So, if your 1978 penny has any sort of doubled image or blurry features, you could have a rare treasure on your hands. Another error to look out for is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin doesn't line up properly during the minting process, resulting in a coin that's not properly centered, with part of the design missing or cut off. These off-center coins are unique because no two are exactly alike, and their irregularity is what makes them desirable to collectors. If you come across a 1978 penny with an off-center strike, you could be looking at a rare and valuable mistake. Beyond the errors, the 1978 1-cent coin has a symbolic value for collectors. Coins from this era, especially in high-grade conditions, are cherished because they represent a moment in U.S. history. They serve as a reminder of the inflationary pressures the country was under at the time and how the penny, once a valuable coin, became less significant as time went on. People are fascinated by this historical context and are eager to own coins that reflect these important changes. But let's get to the part you've all been waiting for: the value of this seemingly simple penny. If you're lucky enough to have a flawless, uncirculated 1978 penny or one with a significant minting error like a double die or off-center strike, you could be looking at a price that will leave you in awe. A well-preserved 1978 penny, particularly one with the right error, can be worth as much as $75,000. Yes, you heard that right, $75,000 for a single penny. That's the power of rare coins and the world of numismatics. A small, Humble coin can become a rare collectible that's worth a small fortune if you know what to look for. So, before you toss that jar of pennies back into the drawer, take a moment to inspect your 1978 1-cent coins. Check the condition, look for any potential errors, and make sure you're not overlooking a hidden gem. If you find something special, don't hesitate to get it appraised by a professional. You could be sitting on a gold mine without even realizing it. In conclusion, the 1978 1-cent coin may seem like just another penny, but in the right condition and with the right features, it can be a rare, valuable piece of history. Whether it's the mint errors or the historical significance, this coin has a lot to offer to collectors and enthusiasts alike. So, happy hunting, and keep those eyes peeled for that perfect find. Top 3, we're talking about a very special 1-cent coin that could be hiding in your collection or in a jar of loose change, and it could be worth a whole lot more than just 1 cent. Yes, I'm talking about the 1977 US 1-cent coin. Now, we all know what a typical penny looks like. It features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and on the reverse, you'll find the iconic shield and the inscriptions E pluribus unum and 1 cent. But let me tell you, this seemingly ordinary penny from 1977 is no ordinary coin. It holds potential that many collectors would jump at the chance to own. First off, let's talk about the historical context of this particular year. The 1970s were a time of economic and political change in the United States. The country was dealing with inflation, energy crises, and growing international tensions. The 1977 penny, minted during this time, serves as a snapshot of a crucial moment in American history. It's not just a coin, it's a piece of history that tells the story of the U.S. during the late 20th century. That in itself makes these coins valuable to collectors who are passionate about the nation's past. Now, most of the 1977 pennies that were circulated are common and can easily be found in change today. However, finding a 1977 penny in mint condition, free of damage, and well-preserved is a rare find. Over time, coins get worn down from circulation, so a penny from 1977 that has been kept in perfect condition is highly desirable. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Let's dive deeper into what makes this coin so valuable. What truly makes a coin valuable is its rarity, condition, and sometimes a unique feature. For the 1977 penny, there are certain mint errors that make it highly sought after. Mint errors are the little quirks that happen during the coin production process. Things like misalignments, flaws in the die, or double strikes. These errors can turn an ordinary coin into a rare treasure worth thousands of dollars. One of the most common errors to look for in 1977 pennies is the double die error. This happens when the coin is struck multiple times by the die, resulting in the image on the coin appearing more than once. On a 1977 penny, you might notice a doubled image of the lettering or the date. This is a clear indicator of a minting error. Double die coins are highly prized by collectors because they are unique, and the rarity of this error makes them worth a significant amount more than the regular version. Another possible error to watch for is an off-center strike. This occurs when the coin is not properly aligned with the die, leading to a coin where part of the design is missing or shifted off to one side. If you find a 1977 penny with an off-center strike, you've got a one-of-a-kind piece that can attract the attention of collectors and dealers alike. Off-center pennies, especially when they are dramatically off-center, can command high prices because of their rarity and distinct appearance. The condition of the coin is another factor that heavily influences its value. While most 1977 pennies are found in average condition, those that have been kept in pristine, uncirculated condition are considered more valuable. A penny that has been preserved in perfect shape, with sharp details and no signs of wear or damage, will fetch much more on the market. Collectors seek out these grade A specimens, and the demand for high-quality 1977 pennies is growing steadily. So, how much can you expect your 1977 penny to be worth if you have one in great condition or with a mint error? The truth is, the value can vary depending on its specific characteristics. But in the case of a mint state, uncirculated 1977 penny or one with a notable mint error, it could be worth $70,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $70,000 for a single penny. Now, before you rush to check every penny you have, keep in mind that it's important to examine the coin thoroughly and even consult a professional coin dealer or appraiser if you think you might have something valuable. Errors and high-grade coins are often best evaluated by experts, and they can help you determine whether your coin is worth a fortune. In conclusion, the 1977 US 1-cent coin may look like just another penny, but it has a rich history and potential rarity that make it a highly collectible piece. Whether it's a mint error like a double die or off-center strike, or simply a coin in exceptional condition, the 1977 penny is a prime example of how small coins can carry immense value. So, the next time you come across a 1977 penny, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. You could be holding on to a rare and valuable treasure. Top 4, we're going to talk about something you probably wouldn't think could be worth much, an old penny. But this isn't just any penny. We're diving into the fascinating world of the 1985 US 1-cent coin, a hidden gem that could be worth a small fortune at first glance. The 1985 penny may seem like just another ordinary copper coin. It's got the classic design of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the simple shield design on the reverse. So why, you may ask, would this penny be worth anything more than 1 cent? Well, sit tight, because this coin has a story to tell, one that might surprise you and possibly make you think twice about your spare change. Let's take a moment to talk about the era this coin hails from. The 1980s was a time of great change in the United States, both economically and socially. The country was transitioning into a new technological era, and while the economy had its ups and downs, the minting of pennies like the one from 1985 continued without much fanfare. But unbeknownst to many, certain coins from this time, particularly the 1985 penny, carry some pretty significant value. What makes this particular coin so valuable lies in its rarity, minting errors, and unique qualities that make it stand out from the rest of the pennies that were released. One of the key factors contributing to the value of the 1985 penny is the rarity of certain minting errors that have been discovered over time. As with any coin, there are always a few that don't make it out of the minting process unscathed. These imperfections, or errors, can make a seemingly average penny incredibly rare and incredibly valuable. And when it comes to the 1985 penny, one of the most sought-after errors is the double die obverse. What exactly is a double die? Well, it occurs when the die that strikes the coin gets misaligned, resulting in the design being stamped more than once. This can cause some of the details, like the date, the word liberty, or even parts of Abraham Lincoln's image, to appear as though they're slightly doubled or distorted. It's a mistake made during the minting process, but to collectors, it's a mistake worth a lot of money. These double die pennies are extremely rare, and if you happen to have a 1985 penny with one of these mistakes, you could be holding on to something really special. Another error that makes a 1985 penny worth more than just 1 cent is a misstruck coin. This can happen if the penny is struck with too much pressure or in the wrong position, resulting in a coin that looks different from its intended design. These off-center or incorrectly stamped coins are highly desirable among collectors because they're one of a kind. A misstruck 1985 penny can fetch a significant premium depending on how dramatic the error is. If your penny shows any kind of noticeable misalignment or unintentional markings, you may have a valuable piece on your hands. The condition of the coin is also a critical factor in determining its value. A coin that's been worn down from years of circulation won't fetch nearly as much as one that's been well preserved in mint state. Coins like the 1985 penny that have remained in pristine, uncirculated condition are incredibly rare and often sell for a premium. If you've got a 1985 penny that still shines like new, with no visible signs of wear, then you're holding on to something that could be worth quite a lot more than face value. Now, you may be wondering, how much could a 1985 penny actually be worth? Well, that's where things get interesting. Depending on the rarity of the errors and the condition of the coin, a 1985 penny can be worth anywhere from a few dollars to thousands of dollars. However, in the case of a well-preserved, mint-state 1985 penny with an error such as a double die obverse, off-center strike, or any other noticeable flaw, the value can soar to staggering heights. Believe it or not, a 1985 penny with these rare qualities could sell for $67,000. That's right, $67,000 for a single 1-cent coin. So, if you're digging through your spare change, looking for a lucky find, don't overlook the 1985 penny. It could be more valuable than you think. And if you happen to spot a mint error or an uncirculated specimen, make sure to get it appraised by a professional. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and this seemingly ordinary penny could be hiding a massive value just waiting to be uncovered. Top 5, we've got something truly special to discuss. An unassuming 1-cent coin from 1993 that could actually be worth a lot more than you'd think. At first glance, it may seem like just another penny in your collection or spare change jar. But believe me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. If you're a coin lover, you'll want to stick around for this because we're about to dive into the fascinating world of the 1993 US 1-cent coin, and you won't believe what it could be worth. Now, let's set the stage for this little coin. The 1993 penny was part of a regular run of 1-cent coins issued by the US Mint. It carries the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with his famous profile, and the reverse features the classic wheat ears design that has been a staple on American pennies since the early 20th century. But here's where things get interesting. Despite its simple design, this coin holds some hidden secrets that could make it a treasure. First, let's talk about the general condition of the 1993 penny. For most people, it's just a penny. In circulation, these coins aren't worth much, typically just 1 cent. However, as with any coin, the condition of the penny plays a huge role in determining its value. Coins that have been well preserved, especially ones that are uncirculated, are significantly more valuable to collectors. A 1993 penny in mint state, meaning it hasn't been in circulation and remains in pristine condition, is a key find for any collector, and finding one in this kind of shape can substantially raise its value. But there's more to the 1993 penny story than just condition. As many of you know, minting errors are what really make a coin rare and valuable. The 1993 penny, like many other coins, could have some hidden minting flaws that make it a collector's dream. These errors are often overlooked by casual collectors, but for those in the know, they are worth their weight in gold. Well, in this case, pennies. One of the most common and valuable errors in 1993 pennies is the double die obverse. This happens when the die that strikes the coin gets misaligned, causing the image to be stamped more than once. For example, the word Liberty or the year 1993 could appear doubled or even offset. This subtle but significant error makes the coin unique and highly sought after. A double die coin isn't just a mistake. It's a piece of history that tells a story and adds a layer of intrigue to the piece. Another error that can make the 1993 penny even more valuable is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is struck off-center during the minting process, creating a coin with a visible distortion in the design. A penny with a large off-center strike is rare and becomes a standout in any collection. The more dramatic the off-center strike, the higher the coin's value can be. So, how much could this 1993 penny be worth? Well, if you happen to find a mint-condition 1993 penny, or even better, one with a rare minting error like the double die obverse or an off-center strike, the value could be quite impressive. In fact, a well-preserved 1993 penny with a noticeable error could sell for $63,000. Yes, that's right, $63,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe, right? But when you're dealing with rare coins, the value can really skyrocket, especially when they're in high demand among collectors. Imagine digging through your collection or change jar and stumbling upon a 1993 penny that has one of these rare errors. Suddenly, that ordinary coin could become a very lucrative find. Even without an error, a well-preserved 1993 penny is still worth much more than just 1 cent, thanks to its rarity and mint state. This is why coin collectors and enthusiasts pay close attention to even the smallest details when it comes to coins. It's not just about having a large collection. It's about having the rare pieces that others might overlook. Mint errors, pristine conditions, and even subtle variations are what set valuable coins apart from the rest, and the 1993 penny is a prime example of that. So, if you've got any pennies from 1993 sitting around, it might be time to give them a second look. They could be worth a lot more than you think, especially if you spot a rare error or find one in uncirculated condition. And remember, coins like these don't just sit around forever. As time passes, more and more of them are lost, worn out, or damaged, making the ones that remain in good condition all the more valuable.